Hey there, and happy Thursday. I really had to struggle to think that through there for a second of what day of the week it was because I haven't been with you guys for a bit. So since I was with you last, we did finish getting our crops in. It was 3 a.m. and at about 2 a.m. I think, or just before that, my husband said, hey, why don't you just go home? Well, of course, with all of the other people out there, I'm like, there's no way that I'm going to be able to sleep. So I stayed up until about 4 a.m. Just to make sure that everybody was where they should be and safe and sound. And the next day when the rain came, it felt really good to have the crops in. And I was glad, even though it got really late, threw me off schedule, everybody's off schedule, and it's just good to have the crops in when you see how wet it is out there for the next couple days after that. And then there was the big sale yesterday. So I tried to sleep a little bit from 4 o'clock in the morning and just for a few hours before I started taking orders and that, just to catch my breath, because I knew once I got going, it was going to be a big day, and it was. So thanks to you guys that ordered on the big cling sale yesterday, the big stamp set sale, 15% off all the cling stamps, and it was just one day. So I really tried to key in on that and just be at everybody's attention for that, and that's why I didn't go live too. So hopefully you'll be excited in about a week for those that ordered to get your stamps. And I did want to do a video yesterday just as a reminder, but then instead I just posted on here another reminder about the sale so that I could continue to help people and such too. So let me get on with card making. I was gonna see if my video popped up on my iPad, but I'm just gonna get going anyway. So here is card number 6. So I'm over the halfway hump, which I better be if October's almost over the, or it is over the halfway hump too. So here is my card today for card number 6. And so I'm bringing in lots of texture today for you guys. Hi there, Shelly, and hi there, Lois, and hi there, Mary Beth. And let me get my camera turned around so that I can show you a better view of the card as it should be seen instead of reverse image there. I'm going to try and back that up a little bit so you can see all of my desktop there too. Okay, and my iPad is caught up, so I'm going to just set that here for a second. And that way I can see comments if you guys have comments too or questions. All right, there we go. I feel like I'm really running slow today, but I think I'm still off from losing kind of like a whole day of sleep there or something, or not being able to sleep for a whole day. Okay, so I'm bringing in different textures with some ribbon, some embossing folders, and just the feel of the little wheat with that stamp, and then the paper too. Hi there, Deb. Good to see you on here live. So the sending thanks is kind of a long stamp, and that is from Thinking, Thanks, and Peace. So not too long ago, I did the Thinking of You in a fall card for you guys. And since Halloween's coming up, I probably won't get to be showing you this or send out a card with that, because by the time I'd send it out, Halloween would be done. But I'm anxious to do something fun with this big piece on earth. Hi there, Renee. And so that comes from the mini catalog on page 62 here. So you can kind of see some of the samples that they've done with the big sending thanks from the stamp set. And then the pretty paper is from the pack that I just used on my last card with you guys. And I kind of warned you, I probably will be using that, but then I never know if it really comes together. So still in the mini catalog, just a few pages before that. And it's on page 55, the Harvest Meadow Designer Series paper. So I use that really pretty busy pattern with the Misty Moonlight. And you can see there's lots of like crumb cake and some of the bumblebee colors in there, and just pulling in little things. But today I'm going with that bumblebee, kind of the wheat looking image on there. So that's both from the mini catalog. So you can see that I have a couple packages here, but I've really used up a lot of this paper. But here is like a up close in front. It's just kind of pattern on pattern. It has more of a daisy look, but I feel like when you first glance at it, it could look like more of like a wheat for fall, and that too. And I think by the time, you know, you put on your sentiment and your greeting and all the embellishments, it's just going to take on a pattern more than an actual image on that. And it was kind of hard because I really love the back side of this paper, and this is soft succulent with some script in there and kind of like just that time-worn look that a lot of us like. Hi there, Shelly. So that is where that's coming from, and I always like to kind of just show a brief blip of the paper just so that you can go, oh, do I have that? And then when you see the other paper, sometimes you go, yeah, I just used that, or I just got that, or I'm getting it. So, and then the color combination today is Very Vanilla, Crumb Cake, Early Espresso, and then that Harvest Meadow, and then just some more Very Vanilla for the inside, and Bumblebee for the card base. Let me just set that stamp set aside there as well. I think what I'm going to do first is just do some embossing. And you might think this is kind of funny. Hi there, Pam. Thanks for your note. I'm glad you like it. So you're gonna laugh because if you look close, if my light will pick this up, this is actually more of a pine bough here, but I thought it kind of went with the sprigs of like this little wheat here and kind of just went along with everything. And because you only see a little bit of it, I just wanted some added texture, not anything too showy. And I felt like this piece that I'm using, which is pretty small, just was perfect to kind of just highlight that and just add a little bit more to it. So that comes from, here it is, the Wintry 3D embossing folder, and I just got this because it was on back order. So Wintry 3D embossing folder, it is a 2-pack, so you can see here the snowflake and then kind of the tree boughs. So yeah, you can laugh at it and go, why is she using that? But I think it kind of matches the card. So I'm using this, and then I love this kind of wispy snowflake look there. So these are meant to go through the mini cut and emboss machine as far as size wise, so I could run it through there. I just had my big shot or my regular big, I should say, cut and emboss machine, so that's what I'm going to use today. The thing that is different with this than the other smaller, narrower sized ones is that this one is 3D. So then if you're using either your regular cut and emboss machine or the mini cut and emboss machine, you'll have to remember you're layering a little bit too. So all you'll need is the regular platform and then this. And so many of you have asked, when you're getting the big machine or the small machine, do you need to buy like that special plate? Because in the last machine, this was a special purchase, but everything you need for either machine comes all with it. There's no need to buy anything extra until you need like cutting plates as a replacement, and that's it. So this Early Espresso piece here, I have cut just like 1/8 of an inch over 2 inches. I wanted a little bit bigger just to show more color. So like 2 1/8 by 5 1/4. Yes. So that I'm just going to put in here. And then, like I said, all you need is the base plate 1, and then the embossing for 3D embossing folders, base plate number 4. And that's what I'm gonna, excuse me, run through here. Hi, Kay, thanks for joining in. And that's the only thing that I'm using this for today. And look at the fun, deep groove. So definitely when you use a 3D embossing folder, you definitely can see a lot more deep grooves and such and texture with that. So let me grab my glasses here. And now the other thing that I wanted to do when I was putting this together is I really had to play with the sending thanks, because knowing that this is so long, first of all, I knew that my card would have to, orientation would have to be this way, because there's no way that this large stamp here would fit across the card this way. As you can see, it's going to either, you could maybe, if you wanted to use just the sending thanks and not that, just ink that up with a marker or something. But I did want that for fall. So I thought, okay, right away, this has to go this way. And I did want some ribbon or something, a little special on there. And I thought, how do I do that? So I'm going to show you how I kind of pop this up, get the ribbon tucked underneath there, and still have it all show, because a lot of times you put on your layers and then the ribbon's the last thing to go on, and then it kind of would cover up the first part of the sentiment there. So let me do some assembling with my card here. And like I said, I'm going to start with that Harvest Meadow Designer Series paper. This is cut 4 by 5 1/4. And once again, I'll be just, whoops, I need to scoot that forward a little bit to get it going. There we go. I'm a little sad to be losing out on this, but then you know what? I can always buy more because I have used this package of paper a lot. And I think that would be something that I wouldn't be sad about, having more of that on hand for sure. Okay, and so then the card orientation, like I said, 5 1/2 by 4 1/4, folding open this way today for that. And then for my next thing I'm going to do is put on my seal adhesive here onto the edges. And I want to make sure I get right to the edge with my 3D embossing folder, because sometimes when it's kind of deeply embossed like that, I want to make sure that the edges don't pop up when it gets close to an edge. And I'm just going to have a little bit of this showing on the bottom here, and then the rest can be taped down like so. And then I can grab my soft suede, that's the ink. So I'm using Early Espresso, Crumb Cake, and Vanilla. And when I stamped the Sending Thanks out in Crumb Cake, it just was a little too light and it didn't have the pop I needed. I didn't think I needed to go as dark as my Early Espresso. So in between there is my soft suede. And I really like my soft suede ink pad. Just recently I had a conversation with a customer like, hey, what do you use the most? And it, you know, like all of us, it all depends on the day, but I do use my soft suede quite a bit just because I think it's that nice in-between brown color for a lot of occasions. So this is cut 1 inch by 5 inches here. And I'm just gonna kind of center that like so. Okay, there we go. And with that being red rubber, that turned out pretty well for being centered on there for just that strip. And then this I cut 1 1/4 by 4 1/2. So it's actually shorter than my sentiment there. It's just kind of meant to be just a little bit of a backdrop there to look almost like a little piece of wood or something that is a nice warm look for fall. So let me just put a couple strips of tape across that, so then I can just directly kind of center that back on that as well. Okay, like so. And then this I'm going to pop up, but first I'm going to set that aside and get my ribbon going here. So my ribbon choices today, I had quite a few because I thought, well, the Early Espresso faux suede trim would go great because of my Early Espresso here. And then I just loved kind of there again, the texture is all about the texture today in the card. The Very Vanilla scalloped lace trim. I didn't show you this. This is the faux suede trim for Early Espresso. Then Very Vanilla scallop lace trim. And then I almost thought about bringing in the Bumblebee gingham ribbon too, because that would also work to give that a nice look with that as well. But I just decided, you know what, instead of picking just one, I'm going to eliminate just one, and it's the Bumblebee gingham. And then I thought, let's put together both the Early Espresso faux suede trim and the Very Vanilla lace trim. So I'm putting these two together. Oh, hey, Tori. Oh, my goodness, you're watching from St. Joseph. I know exactly where that is at. Was there last year. So fun. Good for you to be traveling all over again, Tori. Okay, so as I put these two ribbons together, here we go. When I did my sample, they just kind of stuck together like almost like static. There we go. Okay, so I'm just going to put that there. And I love this together because as dark as the Early Espresso is, adding that lace look to it just softens it up. And it just adds, like I said, that texture that I wanted. So as I make these both turn into my knot here, there, that went really really smooth, really slick, and it's a little high. So then what I do, I don't know if you guys always go, how do I do this and push this down without ripping this or whatever? I open my card up and push in, and that just bends it. I don't know if you can see that. And then I can just kind of give that a scoop. So that's what I do often when I need to just make an adjustment with my ribbon. Because when I was first stamping, noticing I was either tearing it there or there as I was pulling too hard to get it to go. And so this I'm just going to cut off there and there at a little bit of an angle here and scoot that over a little bit more. Thanks, sorry. And then now we'll go back to my sentiment. Like I said, I'm going to pop this up because normally if you made a card, how many times you make a card, you put your sentiment and it's usually over this way and then you put your ribbon on. Well, that won't look very attractive to have that ribbon on like so. And using my dimensionals to pop it up and having it on the crumb cake, 4 is probably enough. My dimensional friend Nancy would say, no, you need at least 25 dimensionals on that piece there. Okay, so I have that like that, and then popping it up allows me to keep that ribbon tucked underneath, and then oops, I want it just up a little bit more because I know I'm going to need some embellishments, guys, and that way I have room for embellishments. Okay, so there we have that ribbon staying underneath, and then with 2 ribbons on there too, it's a little bulkier, not a ton, but having the dimensional there, everything lays super flat, nice and neat, just like it's supposed to be, but yet you still have the value of the texture and everything that you wanted from the ribbon on there like so. So I like how that just kind of nest in there, and then you can see now that you have this on, the wheat on there, and the little bit of embossing there, that it just adds a little bit of texture to tie it together. So next for my embellishment there that I talked about, I'm going to go to my Brush Metallic Adhesive Dots. I just tried to order this yesterday for someone. I noticed not only are they on back order, but they've reached their limit on back orders. And I don't know if I address this very much with you guys, but once an item like that's popular like this, once it reaches a certain limit of numbers of back orders, then they turn off the number, the ordering number associated with this product, and you can't get it until it's back in stock. And so that way they don't have the expense of as many back orders to mail out separately, which I totally get, especially the way shipping is crazy lately. But they are expected back in around the week of November 1st. And these are just great for fall, so I can see why they're so popular as well. Some more of a coppery, a gold, and the brass is what I'm going after for this. So I'm going to take the large one, there's 2 sizes, and I'm just going to put that down in this corner, and then a couple of the small ones to go here on the top corner of the opposite one. And they're kind of a little bit of a beveled, they're not perfectly round, which I think adds to the appeal of it as well. So they're just kind of remind me of hardware for your kitchen cupboards or bathroom or something like that. Just a fun little look, like a stone or something too. Thank you, Tori. So yeah, lots of texture, but there's just a lot of simpleness to that. And that's what I liked, is taking something that's really big, simple, and just adding lots of layers to make it happen. And now for the inside, what I'm going to do is clean off my stamp. Whoops, there went my iPad. And I'm just going to quickly clean off my stamp, the sending thanks. And then what I'm going to show you is how I love using my regular Mini Marvelous markers here. And with the brush tip, I'm just going to go after the wheat here. And I'm going to brush that marker on. And so whenever I have a flaw when I'm stamping, I go right to my regular markers. You can't use your blends on there. If you use your blends markers on your stamps, the actual ink will just stay on your stamp. It won't stamp on your paper. So that's where you have to use the regular good old-fashioned markers for this. And if you think, boy, Belle's been talking a lot, that ink is for sure dry, then I just give it a little huff, but first I'm going to get some scratch paper just to make sure that I didn't get any extra there. I'm just going to go, when I huff on it, then it remoistens all the ink, and then I'm left with just that stamped off of this whole big stamp. It's like some of you might be rolling your eyes like, yes, that's the first thing I learned, but some of you, because Stampin' Up! Has evolved so much with their products, some of the things that we learned and did as our, oh wow, first time things, like who knew how to do that, we just don't use very often, just because there's so many products, so many techniques. I've been doing this for over 25 years, almost 26 now, as a demonstrator in stamping before that, and it's just amazing how many tools and things that new stampers have compared to what we had starting out too. So that's kind of fun. So I just think it adds a little fun piece there in the corner to tie that in with that for the inside. And this is very vanilla as well. So there you have it, card number 6 for October Stamp Camp. And let me get my camera turned around here. Yeah. There we go. I don't know what I do when I flip my camera around lately. Okay, so hopefully with our crops out now and a little bit more sleep caught up, I should be on more of a schedule. So tomorrow's Friday. I will be back with you tomorrow afternoon with card number 7 out of 10 for the month. And I have a whole long list still of things that I want to cover. So sometimes when I make notes like use this, do that, or hey, check out that idea, sometimes I can knock off 3 of those with one card because I'm using like that technique, that stamp set, that pretty paper. But my list is so long, I'm already excited kind of for November because I know that I'm not going to capture it all in October for you guys. But like I said, I hope to always give you guys a variety of different types of occasions of cards that you're getting in your 10 pack for the month, and just different papers, techniques, stamp sets too, so that when you get your variety of 10 in the mail for the month, you don't go, oh, they all looked alike for some reason this month. So hopefully with the 4 that we have left this month, I can add some even more variety for you guys. So once again, card number 6 out of 10, and how you can get my 10 pack of cards is just let me know and say, hey Belle, I want the 10 pack of cards. They're $25. And that includes the shipping to you, or if you're local, I deliver. Or if there's things that you need before the end of the month and want to use the host code when you order, I have it here and I'll post it with the still shot of the card too when I post that. Then you can get the 10 pack of cards for free with a $75 purchase, so consider that too. I know a lot of you were able to earn the cards yesterday with the stamp sale that went on all day too, so that's kind of fun, and I know that that will be keeping me busy for the next few days too as I craft and have fun with making up the cards for you too. So keep having a great day, and I'll see you guys tomorrow afternoon. See you then. Bye-bye.